Oh yeah. Morning, Trainiacs. It is going to be the first road ride outside all year. Had the bike on the stand yesterday, getting it all lubed up, cleaned, ready to roll. Man, this is like my favorite part of triathlon by far. Road rides outside with good friends. So now, as everyone is starting to ride outside more often, on Team Trainiac, we're getting questions about how to develop good bike handling skills. And this is critical to do because the better your bike handling skills are, the faster you're gonna go on the race course, essentially shortening your course beyond what athletes are doing who are kind of just tick-tacking little bits. So, I'm gonna give you a prescription for how to improve your bike handling skills leading into your races. Just so excited, let's go! Yeah, 3 hours, Trainiacs? My hands even got sweaty. Love it. All right, I gotta go for a 24-minute brick run, and then we'll pick up where we left off. Give you some ideas that I was showing off there in that ride about how to ride more efficiently by having better bike handling skills that you can really easily develop. Just a couple of drills, no problem. That was a nice ride. Okay, now that's all over, let's get into all of you getting out and starting to ride outside. And even if you are a seasoned rider outside, you might possibly not necessarily feel very comfortable in the saddle. Now, a way to assess if these drills that we are going to prescribe will actually help you is, do you find yourself just little tiny micro steering adjustments? Just here, right, we'll just bring this in. Do you find yourself just constantly having to do this? If you're constantly doing that, you'll benefit from these drills. Or are you able to ride in a straight line, on the painted line before the shoulder, and not have to do this? If you can just put out really solid efforts with staying dead straight, these drills probably aren't gonna help you. But for most of us triathletes, we're not great bike handlers. So what we're doing is, as we start going like this, even just little bits, it might make the course even just 1% longer, 0.5%. Let's just call it 1/4% longer. Over the course of a half Ironman, that works out to about 400 meters. Probably takes you about a minute to ride that 400 meters at least. So if we can just ride nice and straight, we're gonna be faster, and our body is going to be so much more fresh for the run because we don't have all these little micro steers in our body. Here's how we do it. All right, so regardless of whether you've got tri-bike, a road bike, aero bars, clip-in bars, or you are wearing purple Hawaiian pineapple socks, doesn't really matter. The drill is gonna be the same and the effect is gonna be the same. What you wanna start doing is, on the trainer, just to get in the habit of actually performing the drill, you start pedaling, and the drill is very simple. All you need to do is just get in the habit of taking one hand off and touching, and continuing to pedal. So, just going like this. Taking one hand off, touching. And what you're doing is you're touching the sole of your cycling shoe. Now you start building up to touching gradually little bits lower. And eventually, all the way down to the bottom. When you've got the hang of that, you progress while you're still on the trainer to doing it in the aero bars. Touching, touching, touching a little bit lower, touching with the other hand, making sure that you can do that. And then, once you've got the hang of that on the trainer, you start taking it outside. And this is where you've got to do something fairly specific. If you just go and start ripping around outside, you're going to have the fear of falling. So instead of going around at high speed trying to touch the bottom of your shoe, you can do one of two things. Number one, you can just go in the grass, and I would actually recommend that this is where you start, because you're going to end up going so slow that if you fall, it's not going to hurt, so you're not going to be afraid of doing it. It's a controlled situation, and that slow roll is actually going to force you to have to work a little bit harder to stay upright. Graduate from the grass to doing it very slowly in a parking lot, always starting with doing it on the bars, and then eventually progressing up to doing it in the aero bars. Do this with one hand and the other, and this is going to build your stability. So once we've got that stability and that confidence, how do we actually handle the bike and actually be faster when we do have to turn on race day? Okay, now before I tell you how to get some free speed coming into your races with some proper bike handling skills, we gotta pay the bills. Today's video is brought to you by Solstar, the carbon insoles that are in all of my cycling shoes. Triathletes have 3 contact points with the bike. Bounce on the seat and you'll lose power. Be uncomfortable on the bars and you'll lose power. Have an unstable connection to the pedals and you will lose power. Solstar carbon insoles are stiff and supportive, and I kid you not when I say that my peak power is 80 watts higher with Solstar insoles in my shoes. There is a link in the description below where you can win one of 3 pairs of carbon insoles. Go enter and increase your power with Solstar. So when you get to your race, how can you actually ride and handle your bike in such a way that it actually makes you faster than your competitors? Well, because triathletes are fairly solitary creatures and we tend not to do a lot of group riding, we miss out on developing a lot of the bike handling skills that can make us faster without having to work for it. So in the case of triathletes, what they'll often end up doing when they come to the turn is they will come out and basically just follow the turn. But what's going to happen is all of this period here, they're going to have to be very, very slow because it's a very sharp turn, and they're going to have to burn some matches to end up getting back up to speed. Now instead, what I want you to do, now that you're nice and stable on the bike, is I want you to start a turn nice and wide, and then come into the turn narrow, and then finish wide. And what's going to happen is, because these 2 turns, instead of being a 90-degree turn, instead it's a 45-degree turn, you're going to be able to come into it with more speed, leave with more speed, and it's going to take you less effort to get back up to speed. So essentially, you're going to be getting free speed. Meanwhile, everyone else is slowing and really having a spike in power to get back up to speed. Overall, making their legs a little bit more beat up for the run and slowing down their momentum. Now, how do you do this in the absolute most effective way possible? On every single turn, how you want to handle your bike is you want to have pressure on your outside foot and your inside hand. So when your foot is down on the outside, let's say I'm turning this way, I want to keep my foot down on that side, and I want to keep my hand down with pressure on the inside. And what this is going to do is it's going to keep my wheels glued to the ground so that I can take those nice shallow turns and not have to worry about it skipping with the bike, getting dangerous, and also allowing me to be faster and have more control be more confident, come into the turn faster, come out of the turn faster. So with those couple of drills and that method of taking turns and just handling your bike, you're gonna be able to pick up speed, particularly in a race that has multiple turns. And some races, with the more Ironman expands and the more common triathlon becomes, they're having to go on courses that is very twisty, turny. I remember a few years ago in Half Ironman Austin, there were something like 56 turns over the course of the 90-kilometer ride. I used this strategy. Didn't feel like I absolutely crushed the bike, but that's where I qualified for the Half Ironman World Championships. I was fresh for the run, had one of my best run performances relative to the field that I've ever had. So hopefully I know a few things that can help you out. All right, Trainiacs, if you aren't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button below. And if you are subscribed, tell me if you ride with a group. Why do you always come in for the end? Later, Trainiacs.